a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes, it's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Open the pod bay doors now.
Keep your friends close, but your enemies close.
I am nothing! No!
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Get busy living. Or get busy dying.
What's going on, everyone? My name's Michael, and welcome to Cinemaze, a podcast where a bunch of mates chat about cinema over some drinks. Today, I'm joined by Spencer and Tom. Boys, thanks for coming on. How are you going?
Good, mate.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, no worries. In this episode, we'll be diving into the recent 94th Academy Awards, breaking down some of the best films and performances that were celebrated, as well as those that maybe missed out. And while we do that, we'll be drinking some water.
Yep.
Because it's 10 a.m. at the time of recording. So, yeah, we're a bit worse for wear this morning. As always, make sure you're following the podcast on your chosen streaming platform and leave a 5-star review. Also, check out the cinemaze YouTube channel where I post video essays on film and TV characters. So getting into it, as listeners of the podcast would know, what I like to do is get an idea of who our guests are and what they like to watch. So ask a few questions about cinema. First question, I'll start with you, Costi. Timothée Chalamet or Tom Holland?
That's a good one. I think probably Tom Holland's more, I don't know. I would say Tom Holland's more widely known, but Chalamet's had like this upward curve the last couple of years. He's just been killing it. So I think Chalamet is just like the next big thing actor.
Yeah.
He's kind of, it reminds me like, I wasn't alive at the time, but when Leo was starting and Leo was just getting all these big roles. So I think Chalamet, he's already got an Oscar nom. I think he's just going to kill it for the next. He might do more like quote unquote cinema and get more of the critical attention, but I think Holland will probably do more of the box office stuff.
Yeah, Hollywood.
He's got that
sort of,
appeal.
Yeah, blockbuster. Good answer. Spencer?
Yeah, the Uncharted universe. It's hard to look past.
Is there a universe?
Well,
now?
they're going to make more of
Good
them, yeah.
flick. I enjoyed myself
Really?
watching that. Yeah, I liked it.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't
personally.
seen it. I've seen the trailer, and that's enough. Yeah, I think Chalamet for sure. I think that movie with Steve Carell, what's that called?
A Beautiful Boy.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
He's
film.
so good in that. Yeah, Tim for sure.
100%. Next question, Wes Anderson or Paul Thomas Anderson?
I love Wes Anderson movies. I really like how he leans into the fact that he's just so quirky and so weird.
Yeah,
I think Grand
very quirky
Budapest
style.
is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But Paul Thomas Anderson, and we'll speak about the film later, Licorice Pizza. That was one of my favorites last year. He did There Will Be Blood, which is just unreal.
Yeah.
Boogie Nights as well. So I'll just go Paul Thomas Anderson slightly.
Okay. Tough one there. Spencer?
Yeah, I think PTA has to take it as well, but Grand Budapest, like,
Just so good.
Yeah.
so good. I just love how OCD he is, really.
He is.
Everything's symmetrical with Wes
So
Anderson.
symmetrical and perfect. Very quirky, as you said, but PTA has some crackers as well. Next question, Zendaya or Anya Taylor-Joy?
Zendaya.
Zendaya.
Although-
Easily.
Yeah, although Anya Taylor-Joy, she's, had some
She's
good,
been killing
good
it.
performances. Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. But yeah, obviously Zendaya's got a bit of the spotlight at the moment. Next question, The Other Guys or Wedding
Oh,
Crashers?
this is so tough. Me and Spencer
You're on
quote
sale, are you?
Me and Spencer quote these movies on the daily.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I would give it just to The Wedding Crashers.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. You go why.
I think the duo of Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn is slightly better. I
Than
think
Will Ferrell
than
and
Will Ferrell
Wahlberg.
and Mark Wahlberg. Even though, and I think it's a bit more crude, a bit more like it's got a lot of sex in it and stuff. I just think it's so much funnier.
Yeah. No, that movie would not get made today.
No.
Wedding Crashes, but certainly, yeah. Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn. I think Mark Wahlberg was just cracking a lot of the time in The Other Guys, and you
Yeah.
can blatantly see it.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
Will Ferrell
Like
was
just
just making him laugh.
100%.
Other Guys, I think way more quotable, but Wedding Crashers more rewatchable.
And I think the
Yeah.
supporting
Good.
cast
Take
of
that.
Wedding Crashers, Rachel McAdams, Bradley Cooper as well,
Yeah.
is just the biggest dickhead in it. I think that just makes it a lot better too.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely some crack. It was Wedding Crashers Adam McKay as well, or different?
No, different.
Okay, interesting.
That would have been huge.
Yeah. Next question, Ozark or Euphoria?
I think Ozark's a much better TV show. Euphoria's got that kind of like viral sensation thing
Yeah.
about it because it leans into it and it like appeals to
100%.
our generation. But I think Ozark now we're waiting for part 2 of season 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd give the chocolates to Ozark.
Yeah, Ozark, 100%. That last bit of season 4 is going to be insane.
Yeah, Jason Bateman killing it. Next question, getting into the deeper ones. Most memorable movie that you've seen in cinemas?
I always go back to like one of the best cinema experiences I had was when I saw Infinity War. I think I
Ooh.
saw it with Uspo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Saw it with Laundy, Jared Silva. We saw it at Chatswood. I think
Nice.
another one that I had was I remember I was like when Step Brothers came out. I told my mum that it was like M, but it was MA. And we get
Lied
to the
in.
cinema, and she sees it. She sees it as MA. And she's like, "Well, we're already here." And we go in, and my mum, we just had like the best time watching
That's
it.
so
That's
good.
a good one for me.
That's so wholesome.
Yeah,
Spencer?
I feel like I have to give a different answer every time, but I did convince my grandma to go and see Inglourious Bastards with me
Really?
when it came out.
Wow.
And obviously the cutting of the scalps with your grandmother is probably not the wisest thing. I didn't even know
Yeah.
that was in the movie either. Nor did I know who Quentin Tarantino was at the time. I was just like, this looks cool.
yeah. Let's go see it.
Yep.
Oh, God. That's good. Next question, fastest TV show binge?
Still going to be dark for me.
Mm.
I've never done anything faster.
I think I'd have to agree. I
Dark
remember
as well.
watching it at the end of 2020. I watched it like over New Year's, and
Yeah.
I just sped through that so quickly.
Yeah. I since Spencer did the elevator pitch for it, I've been advocating Dark to so many people.
Mm.
And I told my brother to watch it. And he's like, "Oh, like what is this like German TV show?"
Mm.
And he did the same thing. Literally binge watched all 3 seasons in like a week, and it's just so good. And I feel like a lot of people do the same just because how good it is. So
Yep.
definitely can attest to that. Next question: favorite Australian movie?
I'm gonna go with The Castle.
Nice.
I remember I watched
Nice.
it.
Absolute
I remember I
classic.
watched it in year 9 in the geography lesson because
What?
I don't know why. I had to
About
do-
like
It's got heaps to do with
zoning of
geography.
yeah,
airports.
I don't know why I had to do. It was Deborah Phillips put on the bottom for us.
God
I watched
bless her.
that and I've rewatched it so because it only goes like an hour 25
Yeah.
minutes. It's just so funny as well.
It's
I
so
think
good.
classic.
Iconic.
Australian movie, probably either Kangaroo Jack or Australia by Baz Luhrmann.
Really?
Yeah.
A good one that came out last couple of years though, The Dry with Eric Banner.
The
Oh, yeah.
Dry is
That's a-
so good.
The Dry Eyes.
I love it. Yeah, the Dry Eye. In Dry Eyes, that is a cracker.
Is
Well,
Fury Road an Australian movie?
Yeah, I'd count that.
Yeah, that's got to be up there then.
Australian
Yeah.
director, filmed in Australia.
That's
Yeah.
a great take. Yeah, definitely. Next question: a movie that you think everyone needs to see?
I'll just go with my favorite movie, which is Goodfellas. I'm like, if
Nice.
you like crime, violence, drugs, I
Yeah.
just think it's so good.
It also sucks you in immediately. Like,
Straight away.
yeah, opening
Straight
line,
away.
iconic. Spencer. movie?
Saw X last week, the new horror film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very good. Saw it with Costy. Definitely need to go see that. It's not many people are gonna know like that it's even out.
Yeah.
So you just got to search
it's a
for
bit
it.
of a lower release.
Yeah.
Why was it so good?
Well, it's just like they kind of just like it's a classic slasher film on like a country farm, but it's just very witty, very funny. Kid Cudi's in it as well, which is a
Really?
plus. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Have
I
to
think
watch
everyone
it.
would like that.
Next question: favorite streaming service?
I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Binge
Okay.
because they've got all the HBO stuff.
Yep.
They get a lot of the Showtime, like their connection with Showtime over in the States.
Mm.
I think they got the connection with BBC, which
Yep.
have really good TV series. So I'll go with
100%.
Binge.
Good choice.
Yeah, I agree with Binge as well. Same reason.
Even though they don't do any original stuff, like Netflix
Yeah.
have original movies. But yeah, I'd go.
the collection.
Yeah, I go Binge.
yeah, it's just like with those original movies, like there is a lot of junk there, and it's
Yes.
100%.
like obviously HBO do trim the junk, like they don't put much of it out. It's all quality TV shows in my eyes.
Yeah, definitely. It's good that they're doing that. They're doing well. Binge. Next question: TV show that you're watching at the moment?
I'm watching a couple of good ones. I'm watching with my brother Winning Time.
Yeah.
The one
Oh,
on
the
Binge about the 80s.
Magic Johnson,
Yeah, about
yeah.
the 80s Los Angeles Lakers, which is really good. And then I just started one on Apple TV called Slow Horses.
Interesting.
Suppose watch it as well. It's about these
Good.
cast off agents in the MI6 in England who have
Yeah.
like made mistakes and then they get
Oh,
they get
does this have
Gary
Gary
Oldman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and is there what's his name? Freeman.
Don't know.
Sorry.
No, you're all good.
Morgan Freeman might be narrating the later episodes. I don't
No,
know.
it's like all these agents that have made mistakes,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they get cast off to like this shit area, and then they have to kind of like redeem themselves, and it's really cool.
Yeah. And is it a comedy or?
Nah, it's like full on drama.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it. Spencer?
Yeah, watching Severance at the moment, plus those two shows Costy
I've
mentioned.
heard it's really good.
Season finale came out yesterday. I'm yet to watch it, but
Is that on Apple as well?
Apple TV Plus? Yep.
Need to get it.
Yeah, incredible concept. Ben Stiller directed most of it. Adam Scott as well. You'd remember him from Step Brothers, the brother.
Absolutely.
John Turturro.
One of
Yeah,
the greats.
No.
Oh, in Severance as well.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So very good TV show.
Interesting. Good answers there, boys. So in the last episode, we had an elevator pitch from Pete. He recommended Donnie Darko. And let's just say it was very, very interesting. Can't believe I hadn't seen this yet. It's always kind of been on the list. Very sort of iconic cult following. But Jake Gyllenhaal, he was excellent. He killed it. Same as the rest of the cast. There's a lot of big names. There is some kind of weird... Have you guys seen Donnie Darko?
No.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's kind of like weird, very 90s like dialogue that's kind of a little bit like... I like watched it and just was saying to myself, this is a bit like kind of cringe.
Bit
But this-
dated.
Yeah, a bit dated. But nonetheless, the story takes you on a wild ride.
Yeah, it is really weird.
And we were talking about it before, but it's very much like dark in that it starts off as what you think is like an American suburban family story and ends up being completely different.
Wow.
I couldn't really even comprehend like the ending.
No, yeah, I agree.
I
you can't say a lot without giving it away and spoiling
No,
it for
yeah.
people.
Would you rewatch it?
Yes, I think
Yeah.
I need to like
Yeah.
better understand. So
Okay.
It's a
I would
good like
definitely watch it.
mindfuck movie.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So would recommend. Great elevator pitch from Pete. Thank you for
Well
that.
done, Peter.
The next Cinemates community elevator pitch is coming from Mackenzie. So let's hear what she's recommending.
Hey Michael, my pitch to Cinemaze would be Pieces of Her starring Toni Collette. It is such a good thriller and suspense TV show, and if you're into plot twists, then you'll definitely be surprised by the ending.
Interesting.
Wow, I do love a
These-
plot twist.
I've seen that come up on Netflix. I think it's like Toni Collette's a mum, and then
Yeah.
the daughter sees her like fight someone, and then she's got like a checkered past that she hadn't
Something
really
like
reviewed. Something
that.
along those lines.
Yeah, I have seen it on Netflix quite a lot. So great recommendation there, Mackenzie. We'll see how it is.
Toni Collette killing it. I saw a
Yeah,
trailer.
she picks good material.
I saw
I'd
a
say.
trailer for a show yesterday. Have you guys seen that documentary came out like ages ago called The Staircase?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, so
that was good.
So it's about this guy who he was alleged to have killed his wife. They found her
Fell
dead
down
body
a staircase
down
at their home.
bottom of the stairs, and this massive documentary, really popular. And now she's in a TV show. It's HBO with Colin Firth miniseries, and he plays the husband and she plays the
They're
wife.
reenacting it.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
full on, yeah. And Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones, she's
Oh,
playing
I've
one of the
seen
daughters.
I've seen the trailer for it. I
It
think.
looks so good. Comes out in like a
Wow.
month.
I'm definitely watching that. What's it called?
The Staircase.
Staircase again.
Wow.
Wow. But yeah, nonetheless, Toni Collette, Pieces of Her, definitely going to watch
Give it a watch.
Yeah, great recommendation, Mackenzie. We'll see how it is. So getting into it, 94th Academy Awards. It was a huge year for cinema in 2021. So let's maybe start with the kind of best films we thought. Goes without saying, best picture obviously went to Coda.
Yep.
That was an absolute cracker. What did you guys think of Coda?
Yeah, I just watched this one yesterday. Was surprised actually. It was, quite funny, really energetic script,
Yeah.
I thought. I think this is, in my eyes, a bit of a green room case of a winner though. Like, I think in 10 years you're gonna look back at Coda and be
Yeah.
Like what were we
really?
doing?
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Just like it was begging for an Oscar when like you can imagine the writers being like, okay, let's make a movie about
Yeah.
deaf family and a aspiring singer. And it is a great story, but
Great story, how they, tie singing into it and everything and how
Yeah.
Well, it's weird because it's straight adapted from a French movie. So it was adapted
Yeah.
from a French film, which is in its complete carbon copy, They don't,
Oh, really?
They don't change like anything about the film. So it's the
Wow.
same. It's their
Bizarre.
family. They just copied it word for word,
Mm.
and they just made it American. Not saying that that's bad, but
No.
No.
yeah. So it premiered like selling Spo premiered like Sundance over a year ago.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Apple saw it and they bought it. Thought they had something good, and then they just bankrolled their
Wow.
campaign to win
Did
it
not
all.
know that.
I know, isn't that?
I saw it was an Apple original.
Yeah,
But-
so they still phrase that if they buy it early at Sundance. That's what they
Ah.
like. So like all these aspiring directors, they'll put their films on Sundance for
Yeah.
their indies, and then all the like
big
Netflix,
ones.
Apple, HBO, they'll go and they'll buy the rights, and then
Yeah.
they'll say, "We'll give you all this money to release it nationally and internationally, and we'll try and get awards for you because they can back
Wow.
them financially."
Mm.
That's interesting.
Well, I'm sure Netflix rather probably started that trend.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
Well, they're trying so hard; they still haven't got that Best Picture win.
No, and Apple gets it like very
Straight
very
away
early.
with like their first nominee.
Yeah. But still, I thought Coda was really good. Like,
Yep.
Amelia Jones, who plays the Ruby Rossi, the main character. I didn't realize she's 20 years old, and she
Crazy.
killed it.
Mm.
Like, she's having to do sign language, sing, like, and I thought as
Good
well,
voice.
great voice. And we'll get to it a bit later, but there were some other amazing performances. So, and it was, as you said, Spencer, quite like funny. I thought it was going to be a very like, kind of depressing movie, but definitely enjoyed it. Another movie that I thought was excellent was Don't Look Up, which I think has been received a bit differently. What did you guys think about Don't Look Up?
Yeah, I mean, I think they had to kind of put a comedy in
Twist
commas,
on it.
Yeah.
put a comedy in there. Obviously, I think it's for what it is. I think it was a well put together movie, and obviously, the third act can be, up in the air. No one really knows what to think about it, but
Yeah.
I think it deserves to be there just for the star power. The direction I thought was excellent. But yeah, no, that had no chance of winning.
It's been
Yeah.
very controversial as well. Like over in the States, it's when it got released, it was very divisive.
Like the message it was sending or the movie?
Yeah, the message and the movie and everything. I think it was kind of like a little allegory for COVID and how people reacted to COVID and obviously climate change too.
Yeah.
But I think it was I thought Jennifer Lawrence was outstanding.
Yeah.
I thought Jonah Hill was just the funniest part of that whole movie.
Couldn't stop laughing. at
Couldn't
it.
stop laughing at him. The one part I was very shocked about is at the very end where you see maybe it wasn't her ass, but you
Was
see
not.
it was you see
No, it
Meryl
wasn't.
Streep's mum.
Meryl
I was like,
Streep.
surely that's not Meryl
Yeah.
Nah.
getting nude. But
Couldn't be.
I thought Leo was really good. I mean, Leo's great and everything, but
I thought he was really good. Like the character he's playing, it was like a different character that we've seen from
you
him.
wouldn't
This,
really
like,
see him play like a nerd scientist who's
awkward
yeah,
astronomer,
exactly.
elf. But
All it took was a beard and some glasses, right? Like,
yeah.
I could never have imagined him as like a nerd that gets anxious like that.
No.
Like, yeah.
And I think that was good casting from Adam McKay. But the just like the score, the editing was a little weird in parts.
Very Adam McKay.
I think that's
It went a bit over. It was like Vice, but like times like.
What's
10.
he's got and if you see that
Literally.
watching Winning Time as well, it's like that fast cutting.
Is
into-
he?
Yeah,
doing
he's like
Winning
the executive producer on that.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
fast intercutting stuff with random. It's kind of like if you ever watch Family Guy and they just do those weird cutaways.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but he just puts all this mixed messaging over it to kind of
Yeah.
hyper accentualize his point, which I don't really get
Yeah,
a
like,
lot of the time.
I think it's definitely exciting to watch on screen. Like,
I
adds
find
a
it
lot of
refreshing.
context,
It is refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. That's for sure. Another interesting one, which I haven't seen myself, but received a lot of praise. Drive My Car.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I think because I tried to go see it a couple of weeks ago, but there was all the only times available were 8:30 on a
Yeah.
weeknight, and it's a 3-hour Japanese film, so I don't think a lot of people are going to flock to the cinemas for
Nah,
it.
It'll be a
No.
home watch.
It'll be maybe in a year or two. I'll give it a watch.
Yeah.
Well, like I have heard a lot of people say, it could have done a sneaky win, like how Parasite
Yeah.
took it a few years ago. Like, was getting backed by a lot of people.
I think it's great as well that it did win Best International Film, I think. But I think it's great that these movies are actually,
Recognized.
being recognized in the Best Picture category as well. So great to see from Drive My Car. Another huge one, Dune.
So good.
Yeah,
Insane.
my honest best picture winner here.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think so. Like just in like if we're like saying like this is the best film that was put out in cinemas this year, like
Yeah.
all round, you know.
I think
don't-
that's hard not to agree with.
yeah.
I
it's
agree.
Just like give me one facet of it that was like disappointing.
Yeah.
I think some would point to maybe the ending. That was a bit lackluster. You're like, oh, okay, just this little hand-on-hand combat thing, and then they walk off into the desert.
Yeah.
But obviously, it was setting up for the next one. I think, and we'll probably touch on it later. But I think the biggest thing I was outraged with the Oscars was the fact that Denis didn't even get nominated
For director.
for director,
Yeah.
and they had about 5 or 6 wins in all the technical awards. Who do you think
Everything
hired?
else.
Who do you think hired all those people? Who do you
Yeah.
think, who do you think put that vision together?
100%.
The director. And the bloke doesn't even get recognised. I think the next
Yeah.
one he'll sweep,
Oh,
kind of like what happened with Lord of the
And
Rings.
Yeah.
makeup.
I think
A makeup Oscar. But I remember seeing that hungover in the cinemas by myself, and I was just so enthralled by it.
Yeah.
The sound
Yeah.
just hits you straight away. It's a
Yeah.
movie that recommend. Obviously, people won't be able to go see it now in the cinemas, but when the next one comes out, go see it in the
in
cinema
the cinema
because it just captures everything.
full
Yeah.
stereo. Like I was blown away by it, and I do agree. It obviously was setting up, and I think part 2, if he can continue the same, great writing, music, effects, everything, I think it'll.
Is it a
sweep.
3-parter or is it just 2 parts?
Just 2.
Just 2.
It's just
yeah.
2.
The book is
Massive.
3-part.
Yeah.
But we got half of the story. But Dune was amazing, and I think he was a little bit robbed. I don't think he should have won Best Director, but
At least get
nomination.
nominated.
because that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like who in that would you take out? So you've got Jane Campion,
Yep.
you got PTA, Spielberg for West Side Story, you've got Kenneth Branagh for Belfast,
Kenneth Branagh.
or you've got Hamaguchi for Drive My Car.
Take out Kenneth Branagh.
Probably take him out,
Or Spielberg.
Yeah,
Or
well,
Spielberg.
Spielberg's
It's
been
like,
recognised
come on,
enough.
Come on, mate.
Don't tell me that he directed all that musical stuff.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that.
And we're talking about the guy who did Arrival,
His
Prisoners,
resume is a joke.
Sicario.
Blade Runner.
It's so
he
good.
needs one. He's I reckon one of the best directors out there.
He'll get one.
100%.
He needs one. So Dune was a cracker. Another really good one, which I think was I do agree, but the best film made was probably Dune.
Yep.
But what I thought was going to win was either King Richard or Licorice Pizza, which we'll touch on. But to dive into King Richard, I thought it was really good. I was blown away by the story. Will Smith's performance was amazing. And I if you're going to compare it to something, I would compare it to The Blind Side.
Yeah.
But I reckon it was
I think
even
it's a lot
better.
better. I think it's a lot better than The
Yeah.
Blind Side.
What did you guys think?
Blind Side hasn't aged that well for me.
No, it hasn't aged well.
Nah.
But I thought, King Richard's great. It's probably more remembered for something else now, that whole movie, and we'll touch
Yeah.
on that later.
We will.
But he was great. Will Smith. I thought the wife, played by Ingenue Ellis,
Yeah.
was excellent. And I was surprised because they sell it as, the dad, and it's the movie about the dad. But then, and obviously Serena is the bigger athlete now. But
Yeah.
in the film, it's more about Venus. Which I found really interesting, and I really liked. I thought
Yeah.
it shows how defiant he was in the face of his daughters. I thought he was excellent in the movie. Will Smith,
Yeah.
just so good.
I came into it not knowing the full extent of the story, and I was really, as you said, intrigued by how Venus was obviously, rising up the ranks, becoming pro and all that. But it was such an interesting story, and then the rest of the supporting cast was amazing. What did you think of King Richard, Spencer?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
Really?
Yeah. I know, I'm a terrible person. I was no, I watched a few little YouTube things on it.
Yeah.
Obviously these roles for Will Smith don't come around too often.
No,
And it he did Boycott a couple of years ago, and it's good to see him back there.
Mm.
Obviously not in the best limelight right now, but happy for him. That he
Good
got one.
sports movie as well.
Great sportsman.
And it's hard to film really good sports scenes. And I think because we love sport, I think when you watch a movie, you can kind of tell that if it doesn't hit well with the actual in the sporty
actual
moments,
sport,
you're like, oh, it kind of takes you out.
Yeah.
But I thought the scenes where they're playing tennis, even when they're training or they're
All
playing the
real,
matches,
yeah.
really, really good.
What about the movie Wimbledon?
Oh, that's great.
That's one of the better tennis
Kirsten
movies.
Dunst and Paul
Great
Bettany.
film.
Yeah, Paul Bettany, great tennis player.
He's just grunting the whole movie and falling over.
Great film.
Great film. That
Vision.
probably should have been nominated as well. Touched on it before. Licorice Pizza was a cracker. What did you
Unreal.
guys think?
I saw this for my birthday in the cinema.
Yeah.
I had so much fun watching this movie. I thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
I was in my chair laughing so hard. I had the best time. I thought both of the lead performances from Cooper Hoffman and then Alana Haim just electric.
So
PTA,
good.
he's right. Like it just, I think it goes for just a touch over 2 hours, but it just flows so well. And there's no real plot of the movie. You're just hanging out with these characters, but it just, the rhythm of the dialogue is just so good to listen to. And then that little 15-minute interval where you got Bradley Cooper there, where he's just killing it on screen. I had a blast watching this in the cinemas.
It was so good. I was like blown away by Licorice Pizza. It was so funny. As you said, you're like enthralled from start to finish, and it was very like kind of quirky. Like I didn't know what was really going to happen, but as you said, you get these cameos of like Bradley Cooper,
Sean Penn
randomly, like just. And it was so cool. And yeah, Cooper Hoffman, Alana Haim, they killed it. And their like chemistry was really good. I'm going to say that Licorice Pizza, because would you call it a rom-com? Maybe? Or more of a comedy?
Yeah, more of a comedy.
Yeah.
But there's that romantic element between it. It's a bit weird as well because, it has been very divisive, the film, because he's still Cooper Hoffman's character is still in high school and she's like 22, 23.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like, how you going? But apart from that,
it's illegal.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the 70s. So it's just, there you go. But I thought, it was just one of the funniest movies I saw last year.
So good.
You haven't seen it, so have you?
No, I have not seen Nace either.
If I was going to recommend any movie other than like Dune and the other ones, it would have to be Licorice Pizza.
Just waiting for it to come out on streaming, man.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Definitely worth a watch. Another great film, Nightmare Alley.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of it?
Saw this in the movies as well. Went by myself. Just had a blast. I think if there's one director that really knows, like we're talking about Adam McKay before, like leans into his element.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro, like he's just in his element
Ran
here.
with it.
Just a
100%.
great collection of actors as well. Bradley Cooper, Kate Blanchett, Willem Dafoe. I thought the movie, to some people, may drop off in the second half.
Yeah.
But Bradley Cooper was just so good in the film. His relationship with Rooney Mara was great.
Yeah.
I thought the pacing of the film was really good, and just all around, I had a blast watching it. It was out of the Best Picture nominees, it was probably my favorite movie.
Really?
Yeah, just above Licorice Pizza and Dune for me.
Yeah, no, Nightmare Alley I thought it was just amazing. Like, obviously, Del Toro very much is about like real effects, and I've seen a lot that they kind of, built all these sets with like the carnival and stuff, and I thought that, him just like placing such an emphasis on like little details like costuming. I think he got nominated for costuming and stuff like that just made it so
The
good.
production design.
Yeah.
And the performances were really good. But I'm glad that it was like very dark.
100%.
Like he's
Just
done
lean into it.
Pan's Labyrinth, which was dark as well, but I feel like this was much more.
Are you a Shape of Water fan?
I did like it. I'm going to say I did like it.
Getting it on with an alien
But-
or with a fish?
No, definitely
Yeah, it's
not.
a weird story, but yeah, I thought Nightmare Alley was good, and I love that it was dark.
Yeah, I think
did you
this. I think this film has way more of a case for Best Picture than Shape of Water did.
It didn't really get received well, did it?
No, like it. Yeah, it's probably just like voter fatigue with like Del Toro. I think.
Yeah, true.
Because it's kind of like it's all they're both like kind of noir kind of films.
It is also a 2.5-hour movie about some guy in a carny.
Just learns
You know
how
what I
to
mean?
read people.
Yeah.
So it's a tough sell, but if you go and see it, just kind of put the phone away, sit down.
Yeah,
and
Just
let-
enjoy it.
Yeah.
I
Throw
thought-
yourself into it.
I thought the cinematography was great in it as well. I thought obviously Dune won Best Cinematography, but that camera was just always doing something interesting. I
Yeah.
don't think it was ever really
Well
just like
said.
still. It was always moving.
Yeah.
I thought that definitely should have won over Dune in my eyes, really.
Really? Wow.
For
That's a big-
cinematography.
That's a big call.
Who
Against-
was the
like,
Well, because at the
cinematographer?
end of the day, like Dune, I know a lot of like some of it was practical, but it was a lot of green screen and stuff. And Nightmare Alley was just so real.
Against
Yeah.
our man Greg Fraser, the Aussie.
I know.
Yeah, he's killing it. Last thing as well with Nightmare Alley, I thought Bradley Cooper was really good.
So good.
Like the ending, he just like became the character.
Yeah.
So I think he deserved a bit more praise.
He's
than-
got another movie coming out this year. His second directorial feature.
Oh, really?
It's called, I can't remember the film, but he's playing Leonard Bernstein, one
Right.
of the famous musician from like the 70s.
Oh,
And it's
another
Interesting.
It's meant to be very, very
another
good.
musician movie.
Yeah,
for
another
him.
musician movie for him.
Loves
So,
music.
God.
next film on the list is The Power of the Dog, which was the heavy favorite leading into the Oscars for a long time before Coda won just a sweep of awards. And then Power of the Dog, I watched it at home, came out on Netflix. It's a lot of criticism is that it's boring. I tend to agree. Like it had me there. Some of the performances are really good. I thought Cumberbatch was, if Will Smith wasn't going to win it, I thought Cumberbatch was right there. I thought it was
100%.
excellent. Same with Jesse Plemons, who I love, Kirsten Dunst, and then Cody Smith-McPhee, the Aussie.
Yeah.
There's just some parts where it just drags
It
and
does.
nothing happens.
Yeah.
And I'm all for, like, we all love our movies, but it's a tough sell to people who just want to watch a good movie for like 2 hours.
Especially at home. Like this is a
100%.
Netflix film. Like you expect someone to keep their eyes on the TV for 2 hours on something.
Yeah.
You know, that's very slow. But yeah, Benedict was really good in this. I actually wanted him to win
He's the one that kind of kept me
with it.
with the movie.
Yeah.
Whenever he
Yeah.
was there, I was like, okay, Benedict's back. Let's see what he's cooking with. Filmed in New
100%.
Zealand as well.
Yeah. I think they got a bit of criticism because it's obviously the movie's set in Montana, and they were a bit annoyed that it was filmed in New Zealand.
Who
but
cares?
yeah,
It's
who
a
cares?
movie.
And I thought the landscapes and the cinematography.
don't
there's
even
Australian,
notice.
Yeah, exactly. There's Australian cinematographer Ari
Beautiful
Wegner.
movie.
Yeah, so beautiful. I thought it was amazing in that sense. It does drag a bit,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's not like personally, I probably wouldn't if it was in cinemas. Was it? Or was it?
I think
straight
it
to
had.
Netflix?
Well, the rules are it has to be in cinemas for at least 2 weeks.
Right.
In the
So that's
states.
small
I
release.
don't. Yeah, I don't know. Like to be eligible for nominations. I don't know if it was released in cinemas in Australia.
Yeah.
I think if it was in cinemas, I would have really known what was going on. I had to watch it again to really understand like
The ending.
the ending
Yeah.
and like
The
like
relationship.
how he died,
Yeah.
like everything like that, and like why Benedict was over in that pond by himself, like naked.
Naked.
I was like, what is he doing?
Oh yeah, that relationship between his
Covering
character
himself
Bronco.
in
Cody
mud.
Cody McPhee. There's a bit.
Yeah, Benedict.
what
and
they're
then
alluding to.
Obviously,
Yeah.
the Bronco guy that Benedict looks up to. You know, you can tell there's something going on there. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think if it was a cinema movie, it definitely would have
Yeah.
been easier to follow for everyone.
I watched.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and the host was called it "The Power of the Nap."
That's a good one.
Very good.
That is very telling.
Yep. So next one we've got is Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, gentlemen.
Yeah, I watched this I watched this last month on Disney Plus because it came out, and I watched it on a Friday night. And again, if I was in the cinema, I would have been way more enthralled. I'm not.
Yeah.
I've got a kind of like love-hate relationship with musicals. I'm not the biggest fan. If it's
Yeah.
really good, I'll enjoy it. If it's kind of I'm not saying this is mediocre, but like this is a remake of a movie that won all the Oscars back in the
Yeah.
60s, and it's just the story. Just I love the story. I'm not a massive fan of Ansel
Yeah.
Elgort. He's a bit weird for me. I thought the best part was, and she was rightfully awarded, Ariana
Yeah.
DeBose won for Best Supporting Actress. And like with Benedict Cumberbatch in Power of the Dog, whenever she was on, I was hooked. Everything else, it was just kind of
Background noise.
Yeah.
background noise
Yeah,
for
I
me.
think it's definitely a full musical. Whereas like for La La Land, for example, like one of my favorite movies, you know, there's a lot of
Good
story
mix.
drama in there as well, mixed
Yeah.
in throughout. Yeah,
No, I haven't seen West Side Story myself. I probably don't think I'll be rushing to see it, but yeah, it obviously had reasons to be awarded for different things. So
yeah.
Just sick of the remakes. Like, come
Yeah.
on, Spielberg.
You know, it's a big technical feat.
Mm.
Deserves to be nominated. So
Yeah.
yeah, no qualms there.
for sure.
He's got another movie coming out in 2022. It's kind of like an autobiographical movie. Steven Spielberg and his parents are going to be played by Seth Rogen and Carey Mulligan.
Oh my god.
Oh,
it's, but yeah,
interesting.
but it's gonna. I think
Who's going to play him?
it'll be interesting. But I reckon it'll be another big award contender next year.
Wow, that is
Is Seth Rogen ever gonna like stop making us laugh? Like, can he ever go into that drama thing?
I think that's what he's going to try and do. I think he did it well a couple of years ago when he was in Steve Jobs.
yeah.
When he played
Leaning into
Wozniacki.
it. Yeah.
I think he can. I think he can get there, and I wouldn't be surprised if this movie gets him there.
I would
Interesting.
love if he just randomly like had an amazing drama performance.
Just went like full Jim Carrey and
yeah,
yeah.
do it. Truman Show. I that would be really interesting. Another big one which I haven't seen, Tragedy of Macbeth. You guys seen that?
I haven't seen that one.
See, this is the thing with the big streaming renaissance we're in. There is a lot of movies here that we have not seen. And I think our listeners would be the same. Tragedy Macbeth is obviously not the easiest sell.
No.
I did happen to sit through all of it just because Denzel is Denzel.
Yeah.
It is really amazing. If you like the Coen brothers, I think just give it a watch. And again, another great technical feat. I think probably deserved to get nominated. But yeah, again, it's Shakespeare. People talk like they talk in Shakespeare. It's not really a script you can
understand,
follow.
I haven't seen it.
Still, from like the trailers and stuff, it does look like a very good looking movie.
And that's the whole reason
Well,
why I
and
liked it.
Denzel.
Is it in black and white the whole time?
Yes.
Yeah, so you got a movie on Apple TV Plus, which is not the most popular streaming service.
Yeah.
Plus it's black and white. Plus it's in
It's
Shakespeare.
in 4:3 format. Like it's not full 16:9. Like it's,
So there you go. So
Any other reasons why we shouldn't watch it?
Oh, what the
no, we'll just watch it for Denzel.
Yeah.
And Francis McDormand.
If
also
Apple want to
very good.
sponsor the podcast, then we'll sell it as much as we can.
Yeah, Apple, if you're listening.
If Spotify start making movies.
For sure. So now we'll get into best performances of 2021. We already kind of alluded to a few of them. Off the bat, I think, despite the controversy, I think Will Smith was really good as Richard Williams. I think that he just brought the character in immediately. I think the movie kind of opens. He's just like in his little van and he's talking about like he's listening to like a tennis like instructing video and stuff, and you can just like start to see him really playing the character. So I thought he killed it. Another big one for me, which I reckon was the most impressive performance for me 2021, Andrew Garfield as Jonathan Larson.
Absolutely.
I love
Having
this man.
to learn how to play piano, sing, and also act and be this character of this man who, was just so like energetic and like so talented. I thought he killed it. Tick, tick, boom.
I love this bloke. He's just gone.
He's really
He's had himself a year.
After I watched Tick Tick Boom and then Spider-Man, he's in my top 5 like favorite male actors right
100%.
now, and I think he's just everything he does is so impressive. He like throws himself into it. You can see how committed he is. When you watch some movies and some actors are kind of half-assing it, he just goes full pelt in everything, and I think
100%.
he was just so. Again, he just hooked me from the start. His voice was so impressive. His singing voice too.
Yeah.
You watch like the actual real clips of Jonathan Larson in real life, and he's so on point. I think he was electric in it.
Yeah, he killed it. Another one as well, just quickly on the Garfield train. Not that many people would have seen it, but Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Yes,
Seen
I've
it?
seen it. Yes.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
was good
think.
in it.
I thought he was a bit just okay in it.
Yeah.
Obviously, she was the standout, and she
Yeah.
rightfully got awarded for it. But
Yeah.
I just thought he was okay. A snub for me? I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's a movie called Red Rocket. It
I haven't seen it, but I've heard really
came
good
out
things.
last year. So it was a guy with Simon Rex. You'd probably recognize him. He was in a lot of the scary movies.
Yeah.
And he plays like this washed up porn actor. And he moves back to his hometown in Texas. And then he starts like this relationship with an 18-year-old and just trying to get by. I thought he got snubbed so hard. He was so funny in
Did
the
he
movie.
get Golden Globe?
He got I think he got a Golden Globe. He got a SAG nom. He won the Critics' Choice Award, I believe, or won the Independent Choice Award for Best
Interesting.
Actor.
Yeah.
I thought probably no one's heard of Red Rocket, but it was just such an outstanding film, and he was just so funny in it. So
Yeah.
that was a big snub for me.
I
I
think
was really pushing for him to get
yeah,
recognized.
100%. I think I haven't seen Red Rocket, but I watched this Hollywood Reporter Actors Roundtable.
Oh, they're the best.
They're so good. And he was talking with like Andrew Garfield, Jonathan Majors,
Nick
Nicolas
Cage.
Cage and
Yeah.
stuff. It was so good to
Nicolas Cage
watch.
was saying some good stuff on
He
that,
was. But yeah, Simon Rex was just really impressive to hear. He's like very eloquent. He was in the scary movies, but more kind of played like comedic characters.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was great that he could play this character and be in this movie. And another thing on Red Rocket, I heard that because it was set in like sort of interstate US, and they picked like people who actually lived in these towns. They filmed on location, like with minimal sort of set design and stuff. So it was a very like real film. So
Really, really funny too.
definitely need to watch Red Rocket. What were some big performances for you, Spencer?
Big performances for me, obviously Andrew Garfield. I really did want Benedict to win. I thought he was great.
Yep.
I do think that Adam Driver and or Lady Gaga, one of the two or both, should have been recognised for their House of Gucci.
The best actress, you look at those nominees, those 5, they're not, nothing really, I really liked Kristen Stewart in Spencer.
Yeah.
And that movie is a bit weird, but I thought she was obviously the best part of it. Nicole Kidman, from what I've read and listened to, Being the Ricardos is a very forgettable movie.
Yeah.
And she puts in a very forgettable performance. I don't mind Olivia Colman because I think she's outstanding in everything she does.
She just did her thing in that movie.
She crushes everything.
Yeah.
Killing it at the moment.
Yeah, she obviously deserves to be there. She's one of the best female actors working.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I haven't seen Parallel Mothers with Penelope Cruz,
Neither.
so I don't really know where Lady Gaga would fit in. It's obviously a very tough.
Did you
category.
Did you like the accent?
I thought she did it fine. Like
Yeah.
once you really realize that, like 15 minutes in, you realize this is what they're going for. Like,
Yeah, you just gotta
you forget
live with
about
it,
it.
yeah.
And yeah, I thought that movie was really well made, despite like how it was received. And
Yeah.
it's a shame that it didn't get recognized. I thought Adam Driver was very good in it as well. He was like way more subdued than like punching a hole through a wall in Marriage Story.
He's
Yeah.
he's just great in everything. He's
Yeah.
good in The Lost Duel. One thing House of
he's
Gucci,
great as Kylo Ren.
I just can't.
Oh,
Yeah, he's the best
killed it.
part about the trilogy. I just can't stand Jared Leto.
Yeah.
I can't stand.
Oh, why
everything-
not?
Yeah, I can't. I'm a
He
pigeon.
sounds like Borat, eh?
Yeah, I just everything he does, he's
Oh.
just being weird and over the top, and it just takes me out of the movie.
I think Jared Leto is overrated.
Yeah. No, that's a fair
100%.
assessment.
Like,
He had one good movie, got awarded, yeah, cool, and then
That's it.
since that you've been shit.
This is the thing. Like, if you look at Dallas Buyers Club, was he even that good in Dallas Buyers Club when you think about it? Like, he's being exactly the same actor that he's been today. He's just, he's playing a very flamboyant character.
yeah.
I'm not sure who the nominees were that year. Dallas
I'll
Buyers
check.
Club obviously picked up a lot of momentum throughout that year, and
Yeah.
McConaughey took it. But yeah, I just think Jared Leto, highly overrated, and that supporting actor thing kind of put us in a place where, he might be that guy, but
Yeah.
he's definitely not that guy.
100%. Not that guy.
He is not that guy.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Another big performance for me, which was obviously awarded, but Jessica Chastain as Tammy Faye. I thought it was seriously impressive. She consumes this character, has to wear the like prosthetics of these like kind of big cheeks and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought she killed it. And she does a lot of singing, and like her character is very always laughing and stuff.
Yeah.
If that's like
you can
as
see
simple
her
as you
kind of
can-
character, and it's kind of like shown through her makeup.
Yeah.
She's kind of losing, not to get too deep, but she's kind of like losing control of herself and like her own persona, and she kind
Yeah.
of gets lost in
100%.
the fame that her and Andrew Garfield receive.
Yeah.
And the bigger the,
The
makeup,
power.
the bigger the makeup gets, the kind of the smaller grasp she has on like on herself
On
and
herself,
her relationship with
absolutely.
Andrew Garfield. So I thought she was excellent. I thought she was like justly rewarded, and it was
Yeah.
good that she's just one of those actors that I think everyone likes, and you're like, all right, cool. I'm glad she won an Oscar.
Yeah.
So
100%.
She
speaking
didn't
of
win
Jared
for
Leto,
Zero Dark 30, did she?
no, she got
No.
she got nominated for that and The Help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Best
So
supporting
makeup. This one's a makeup for her.
So speaking of
Absolutely.
Jared Leto, that year he beat Bukhard Abdi for Captain Phillips, who was the pirate.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Bradley Cooper, American Hustle.
Nope.
Michael Fassbender, 12 Years a Slave.
Nope.
And then Jonah Hill, Wolf of Wall Street.
Absolutely not. There is
Yeah.
no.
What
Rayon
do you
was not
think?
a better character than Michael Fassbender
In 12
whipping
Years a Slave.
Lapita.
Yeah.
No. And Jonah Hill, I think, wins that. If we look
You
back
reckon?
at it today, I think Jonah Hill wins that.
Yeah. I'd say it'd be tough between Fassbender and Jonah Hill, but definitely not. It was a role that was begging for an Oscar
Yes.
Look,
Because
it's-
again,
it's-
it's the transformation.
It's a very
Yes.
important film, obviously, and we're not discrediting it at all. But I think just in the big, in the big picture of it all, you kind of look back and you're like, look at those 5 movies.
Well, it
Yeah.
just it doesn't date well because of where his career's gone from there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if someone wins an Oscar early on, you're like, okay, he's destined for big things.
Yeah.
And then everything he's done there, whether it be the Joker, Morbius now, House of Gucci, he's just terrible,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Another thing on the Oscar win, I heard that he was at the after party. He was like handing the Oscar around as if it was like nothing. Oh, well, not to say it was nothing, but he's actually lost his Oscar trophy.
Oh, he's lost the trophy.
He's lost it.
Good.
He hasn't got it back since the after party.
He doesn't deserve
He's
it.
lost his mojo.
Not that I know Jared Leto. Like, I'm not saying I do, but I think the fact that he lost his Oscar trophy shows just
Oh, it's a symbolic representation of his mojo.
Absolutely.
He doesn't deserve
Well
it
said.
for Morbius.
No, he
Simple
does
for
not.
that.
Is Morbius? Yeah, no, don't worry.
There'll be an episode on Morbius. Don't you worry. But he's not good in that. I'll say that.
So what do we think about Kirsten Dunst getting snubbed?
I thought she was really good.
Yeah. Who are the other nominees? I'll have a look in the other nominees for that category. I think she was good. I don't think she was better than Ariana DeBose. So the other category, Jessie Buckley for The Lost Daughter, Judi Dench for Belfast, which she's in 3 scenes. I don't know how she got nominated.
I do not know how she
And
got it. She
Ingenue
said,
Ellis. So I
Judi
think-
Dench, that
words.
is.
I think Dame Judi Dench, yes, correct. I think if I wasn't going to give it to Ariana DeBose, I would have given it to Ingenue Ellis for King Richard, and then just below that, Jessie Buckley for The Lost Daughter. I think
Yeah.
Jessie Buckley is an actress that's on the rise.
She's
She's been really good in a lot of movies the last couple of years. But I thought, like I said before, when we spoke about King Richard, Ingenue Ellis was the second best thing about that movie behind Will
Yeah.
Smith.
Absolutely.
Another massive surprise from Power of the Dog is that Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst are actually together,
Yes.
which I did
Didn't
not
know
know
that.
until I watched the ceremony.
Yeah.
Good for them.
And they're like dynamic in the film. They doesn't spoil anything, but they obviously form a relationship.
Yeah.
Is weird. And I wonder what that would have been like to film.
I was surprised that he
real-life
got
couple.
nominated.
Yeah.
He's played some funny characters in his time.
He has.
Like for me, he's the guy from Like Mike.
He's
the bully?
bully.
Or Spencer from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Is it Spencer? I think his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's also Al
you seen-
Pacino's son in The Irishman.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
Where he
seen?
put the fish in the boot.
Yeah.
Have you
in the
seen
backseat.
Game Night? Where
No.
he plays the neighbor. Have you seen Game Night?
Never.
It's a really good comedy. It came out a couple of years ago with Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman.
No.
And he plays their neighbor who's like a cop, and he's just so weird and he leans into it so much, but he's so funny.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. I don't know if it deserved a nomination. Power of the Dog, his performance. Like, his
No.
character was weird and he.
He was
I
just
don't know. He had
stubborn.
no
He was
emotion.
really stubborn and annoying. I thought.
He had no emotion. It was, I don't know.
If you look at that supporting actor list, you got Troy Kotzer who won, Kieran Hines in Belfast as the grandfather,
Yep.
Jesse Plemons, J.K. Simmons, and Cody Spit McPhee. So if you look back on this a couple of years, again, it's not the strongest category.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Troy Kotzer, like, very well deserved. He killed it, and there was no one else coming
Really
close.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Hey,
funny.
Well done to him.
Yeah.
We're waving our hands. We're clapping him in sign language, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought his performance was excellent and just so much emotion that he was able to show, and I think he really represented the deaf community well. So he
Yep.
killed it. And I would love to see what he does going forward. I think on the Coda train, as I said before, Amelia Jones killed it. And I think that she should have snuck onto the Best Supporting Actress list. Judi Dench said about 5 words. She
So
was
bad.
singing. She killed it. She was on the like Hollywood Reporter actress.
Do you think it
Roundtable.
was? I thought it was more of a lead role though for her.
Yeah.
Just sell it as a supporting because she's the main character. So it'd
Yeah.
be tough to sell as a supporting actress.
Yeah, tough sell, I guess.
Because she got nominated for the BAFTAs for Best Actress.
Did she?
So the funny thing is that the BAFTAs had 5 complete different Best Actress
To-
nominations to the Oscars.
Wow.
5 completely different nominees,
Yeah.
which shows how kind of like I didn't know like Jessica Chastain was probably the favorite lead into it, but
Yeah.
I thought anyone could have won on that day
Yeah.
because it was such a bizarre category. There was no real standout.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's the thing I think you see with like how the Academy Awards differs to all these other things. Like the Academy Awards is really about congratulating like the good actors at the time. Like
Yeah.
if you're too young, which she obviously is very young, they're just not really going to consider you. You know, they're all about like a storyline. Jessica Chastain, she's been in great movies. She deserves something like this. They're more
Yeah,
about
it-
these overarching narratives than really just awarding what was best.
Yeah.
You know?
It seems like it's very much like that. Like the films that they actually deserve the award for, they don't get because they don't get the praise until years later. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, well, now we'll give it for like maybe the role that shouldn't have got.
Can I just say as well? I think we need a new category of like best impersonation or like best performance of a real person. Because if you look at the 4 acting
Best
categories,
adapted character or something.
character.
Something like that would be.
If you look at the like all the 4 categories, you got what Will Smith, real person; Javier Bardem, real person; Andrew Garfield, real person; Jessica Chastain, playing a real person; Nicole Kidman, real person; Kristen Stewart, real person. Like 80% of the nominees are playing real people, and it just seems like if you play a real person and you're like an A+ actor, you're gonna get nominated.
Yeah,
no matter
there's a
if the
formula.
movie's like okay or not.
100%.
Like we saw this a
100%.
couple years ago with Gary Oldman when he won for The Darkest Hour.
Yeah.
Okay movie, forgettable movie.
So forgettable.
Because he plays Winston Churchill, he gets the win.
Yeah.
Well, like Daniel Day-Lewis, obviously for Lincoln.
For Lincoln,
but
it's
like,
just like
well, you
Yeah.
know, look, like he was amazing in that, but it's just like if you put Daniel Day-Lewis and a massive figure together, you know, it's like how can you lose?
I think it's a lot harder to you see an original script and you've got to bring that character to life rather than seeing all these clips or hearing all these clips of this real person and you just get to, I don't want to say imitate because that sounds a bit low, but just kind of give your own spin on that. I just think it's a bit.
It's different. And that's why there probably should be a new category. So
well, that's the thing. It's like you've got Will Smith playing the father, and then you just get, you know, the real family and stuff to really back you up. If you've got the Williams sisters, like
they were the producers and they were there.
Like-
They were there for all the awards.
I know if they've
Yeah.
you know,
Shaking
if you've
hands
got
with
those two
everyone.
very influential people like backing you up, you know, like I think it's really only like PTA and Tarantino that are putting these
Original stories,
characters
Yeah.
up on the screen.
I think on that point, original stories like those two, Cooper Hoffman,
Alana Haim.
Alana Himes, they deserved more praise.
You got it with the screenplay. Do it with the performance. You got
Yeah.
original adapted. Do it with the performance. And I reckon another category they should add. Sorry, getting on a bit different tangent, but like best new feature or like best new performance. Like you've got like
Yeah.
in sport, you've got rookie of the year.
Like
Exactly.
best new artist,
Best new artist at the Grammys. Why can't you do that for a director?
100%.
And you can, I reckon you can mix it. Maybe you could do a director and an actor and a writer in the same category.
Best directorial debut. Like something like
100%. I think
That would be good.
because their ratings have just gone down a lot. They went up obviously because of all the slap debacle,
Yeah.
but just add more categories to make it a bit more interesting, a bit more lively.
Yeah, and
Great
there's,
ideas.
there's too much politics. Another one that I thought was underrated. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Netflix original, The Hand of God. It's
No.
an Italian film, and it was really good.
Yep.
The main character, he's like a teenager, played by Filippo Scotti. He killed it, and it's basically following when Diego Maradona did the famous like Hand of God
at the World Cup, yeah.
handball goal.
Wow.
And it's based in Napoli because he joined the Napoli soccer team. But it's just such a good story, such a beautiful movie. And that kind of deserved a bit more. It did get nominated for Best International Film.
Mhm.
Probably wasn't going to beat Drive My Car based on reviews and stuff, but I think deserves more praise and definitely would recommend on Netflix.
Yep.
Can I see one movie here that I know we're all fans of that I think should have been nominated for Best Picture. Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I thought it was such and
Case in point of what we were just talking about.
yes, appeal and you don't want to just nominate it just for the fact you want to appeal to a bigger demographic. But
Yeah.
I think as well, like it made, if you look at the box office since the pandemic started, it made $1.88 billion. Like that's top 5 all time with or
And
without the
imagine
pandemic.
if
Since the
no
pandemic
pandemic.
started, no movies made over $1 billion. So just
Yeah.
that achievement alone, bringing all those new, like bringing all the old characters back. I think everyone who saw it had such a great time watching it.
Yeah.
One of the best cinema experiences.
100%.
Ever.
And they obviously do have the fan favorite award,
Yeah,
which Justice
Just seems
League
tacked
won.
on.
yeah, it's a cop out.
It's a cop out, but why didn't No Way Home win that?
Yeah,
it was
it's-
nominated, but
because you just get all these bots on Twitter voting for all these voting
It's
for
just HBO, really.
Speed
Speed
Force,
Force.
like the
Oh,
Flash
man.
entering the Speed Force, like
Fucking hell.
terrible.
It's
Yeah.
you know, it is obviously Black Panther, like a full cast of African American people, like African movie,
yeah,
and No Way Home, you've just got like 3 white guys running around. You know, it's
Yeah.
not. You know, if we're running the same tropes here, like it's not
politics.
diverse enough. Like
Well, if you go back, like when they extended the nomination category for Best Picture from 5 to 10 back in 2009 when Dark Knight missed out.
Yep.
And they had a massive uproar. And they said, all right, we're going to open the category more to bring in these more films to get a larger audience.
Yep.
And since then, they've only really nominated Black Panther. They haven't really nominated a lot of animated films, which have a massive audience as well.
Yeah.
So they're just adding all these other films that a lot of people haven't seen.
Indie films.
A lot of indie films. You just got to be a lot smarter, in my opinion, about this
Yeah.
stuff. And No Way Home was one of the best movies of 2021.
100%. And I think they need to acknowledge that superhero movies can still be good cinema.
Yes.
Like the fact that we obviously did a whole episode on it, but No Way Home did some things that you never thought could be possible. And they wrote it so well, had some amazing scenes, and the cinemas were cheering. And I don't think that will happen when you're watching Tragedy of Macbeth.
No, it's like you can't have many movies anymore that you can take 20 years of film and connect them all together like that. Like
Exactly.
you couldn't do like a Coda extended universe, something like that.
No.
Like you've got to appreciate these great films when they come.
Yeah, and a lot of like cinema snobs will say, oh, okay, well, it got the box office, so that's its award. Well, no, you can acknowledge both things.
Yeah.
They don't have to be mutually exclusive.
No, well
yeah.
said.
So it was a best visual effects nominee, obviously. June won that. So that's really all it got. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Andrew
Tough to
Garfield
say.
alone should have gotten nommed.
And if it got, they should have pushed Sony. Sony should have pushed him for best supporting actor.
You reckon?
100%.
Yeah.
He killed it.
I walked away from that being he was best part of that movie.
Yeah.
100% he was.
And you can't tell me that if you nominated Spider-Man No Way Home, you know when they introduced the best picture throughout the night?
Yeah.
You can't
He
tell
would
me
be-
if you brought up Zendaya, Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, all four of them on stage talking about their experience with the movie. Heaps of eyeballs would have been glued to that show.
absolutely.
Gives
Watching
me
it.
goosebumps just thinking about
Yeah,
it.
it makes me want to rewatch it right now. Another couple that I thought deserved a bit more. Don't know if you guys have seen it. The Harder They Fall on Netflix.
Haven't seen it yet. I
It
keep
is-
hearing a lot of good stuff about it.
It's really good. Like I don't really, gravitate towards Western films. Obviously, Django and a few others are amazing, but this one was seriously entertaining. It's got an amazing cast. Jonathan Majors, Idris Elba, they kill it. I reckon it's one of the best looking movies of 2021. The costuming, just how it's filmed, is very colorful. Definitely would watch it. It's. I don't think it got nominated at all for anything, but it was seriously good and would recommend.
A movie you've got on there. I don't know if you guys have seen. Have you guys seen The Last Duel?
Yep.
Yes.
Did you like how they kind of told the story in the
Loved
three
it.
different
Loved it.
parts?
So
Loved it.
original.
I was taken aback. I was like, oh, I like this. Is
Yeah.
interesting to see what they're
Different.
doing here. And you just see how, like, Adam Driver is just playing the biggest dickhead in that
Oh,
movie.
Man.
I
Adam
thought-
Driver and Ben Affleck obviously playing the biggest dickhead.
Speaking
Yeah.
about how kind of not great the supporting actress category was, I thought Jodie Comer was a bit stiff to miss out for her
She was
performance
so
in that.
good.
I thought she was the best part of that whole film.
Yeah.
Completely snubbed.
Absolutely.
As was the French Dispatch.
Yeah. 100%. Do you guys like?
Yeah, I like the French
Dispatch?
Loved
Dispatch.
it.
I thought
I loved it.
I thought my favorite story from that was the first one. It kind of like
Yeah.
went with the movie. I thought
Yeah.
that was the one with Benicio del Toro where he
Yeah.
plays the artist in jail.
That
I
was
thought that was
good.
excellent.
Yep. We see a good set of knockers in that one.
No, I thought French Dispatch was just a fun movie. Wes Anderson, he's killing it. Can't really step wrong. But yeah, some of the stories did kind of
Didn't have my
weren't-
attention that much. Yeah.
Yeah. But still interesting concept. Amazing cast as always. I thought it should have got something, and or at least a nomination in some of the other awards. But I think Timothy Chalamet was really good in it.
Yeah,
Like,
his story with Frances McDormand.
yeah, I thought his performance was really good, and that wasn't really talked about. So
Again, I don't think he's kind of like Leo. He won't. You look at all the films Leo's been in, he hasn't really had one like a bad performance. Maybe J. Edgar stands out as a bad one. I don't think Timothy's had a bad performance yet.
no,
But he was great in Don't Look Up. Like, he was real funny.
he was, yeah,
And then in Dune, obviously, and then but he had such a good 2021. It's crazy.
yeah.
In 3 big films.
I think speaking of Dune earlier and how part 2 will probably kill it, I think if he continues and depending on where his character goes, I think he could be up for something maybe there.
Does he need to put on some size?
Oh, for sure, and that'll come with as he gets
He's
older.
a bit small.
Yeah, he is a bit small, but he's a
and
teenager.
he's flaunting it at the Oscars as well.
Oh, that was-
Just
He
wore
was.
That was a
blazer and
choice.
Nothing else.
Oh.
But yeah, I think this is probably Timothy's like Titanic, like for lack of a better way to describe it. Like
Yeah.
if we're putting his trajectory with Leo's, I think this is his big film, and then hopefully he starts leaning into some more. Hopefully he finds a great director. Obviously, Denis a great director, but Leo can just really rest on Scorsese, can't he?
Yeah,
and I hope
absolutely.
Timothy
Not
finds
for too
something
long
like that.
though.
A nice collaboration somewhere. Another one that I thought, I don't know if it should have been nominated, but was really good film, The Green Knight. Did you guys?
I have seen that. I watched that
Like
last
it?
year. Again, it would have been a movie. It would have been a movie I liked a lot more if I saw it in the cinemas.
Yeah, I
watched it
agree.
at home.
Streaming.
Very strange, very weird. But
film.
Dev Patel, another guy that I really like as an actor.
Yeah, I thought he killed it. Great film. Would recommend Green Knight. Didn't really get talked about too much. So yeah,
Another thing I don't think got talked about enough is the slap.
Yes.
yes. Let's get into the slap.
A lot of people had their takes.
I
Yeah.
don't think anyone talks about it that much. Let's dive
Should
in.
we talk about how you saw it? So I was coming back from work. I was on the train, watching it on my phone, and I was texting Spencer throughout the day about our takes on the awards so far. And I luckily turned my phone back on, or I turned the streaming back on
Yeah.
just in time as Chris Rock got on stage, and I saw he made the joke. And I was just like, what the hell just happened? I thought it was a bit at first.
Yeah.
And then, I'm sure a lot of
Staged.
people feel the same way. As soon as he started swearing, take my fucking name's wife out your mouth,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness.
and
then
then
Chris,
everyone was just silent.
silent. You see Lupita Nyong'o next to him being like, oh wow,
Yeah.
Oh,
what is going
this
on?
is happening.
But honestly, what a flog, in my opinion. Will Smith.
Will Smith.
What a
Yeah.
flog.
I mean, look, we're talking winners and losers here. Like, I think the biggest winner out of this is Chris Rock. He's going to sell out all of his shows this
Yes.
year.
Oh, absolutely.
I just saw he got a second show added to Melbourne.
Yeah.
This week. So, like, obviously he's doing
Yeah.
all right. Biggest loser for me, like, Will Smith got his Oscar, whatever. And obviously this morning, I don't know if you've seen, he's
Yeah,
now
the
banned for 10 years from the Academy Awards. Costi did say he can still be nominated though.
Still eligible to be nominated.
Just
though.
can't go
Just
there.
can't go
Just
to
can't
the,
go.
Wow.
the
I'm like,
awards.
Yeah, whatever. But I
Yeah.
think the biggest loser here is the Academy Awards because, like, as a show as a whole, like
Yeah.
you've just been overshadowed by something that obviously you couldn't script.
No.
But overall, it was a bit of like a lackluster show, and I think that really was the only thing that made it trending on Twitter.
100%. I remember being the same thing, thinking it was staged and just being like, what the hell just happened?
And then they just
Um,
carried on.
Carried on. And I don't think it took away from his performance. Like, he still had a great performance
Yeah.
in King Richard, but yeah, he's
He
got some
didn't-
issues.
He did, but he didn't even apologize as well when he spoke.
Yeah, I don't
He-
know what was going on.
It was like, yeah,
He, like-
love makes you do crazy things.
Yeah.
It's like, no, just take accountability of it. Dude. And he said, oh, Denzel told me that when you're at your highest moment, the devil comes to you. No, the devil didn't come for you there. You just acted like a dickhead and slapped
Yeah.
someone in the face.
He's scared of his own wife.
Because you can't take a joke, or your wife can't take a joke.
He's scared of his own wife. He laughed at the joke.
Yeah, that's the thing. He was laughing
He
1
laughed.
second, then it goes to Chris Rock, and then,
she
he
was-
just
he
like
sees
starts
that,
walking
he sees
up.
that she's not laughing
He would have
anymore.
looked at her, been like, "Oh God,
I got
I've
to
this
do
gotta-
is
something.
yeah.
something."
Weird. And
So bizarre.
Yeah,
And
it's
it
a
was
shame.
it was just weird how the ceremony just went on, and
And they gave him a standing ovation when he won.
I know Jim Carrey had some takes about that. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. He said how it was. Did he say it was like sickening? How
Yeah, it was just sickening how they just basically said it was okay. Gave him a
Yeah.
standing
And they were all
ovation.
singing and dancing with him at the after party, listening
Oh,
to Get
God.
Jiggy with it.
Oh my
Like,
god! And
what a
Chris
f-
Rock would have been there. No,
Oh, I think if
Probably
I was
left
him,
or
I would
He
have
would
gone
have just
home.
dipped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, he didn't carry himself well. Will Smith. I think he could have been more classy by like just leaving the show and like not coming to get his award or something like that. So I don't know.
Man, I've seen horrible jokes from Ricky Gervais
Oh,
thrown at the audience.
absolutely.
Obviously, not a lot of ones that are like right at the face
Directed.
of someone.
Yeah.
And, I guess whoever designed the stage for this Academy Awards
That was
is
interesting,
some part
eh?
to
He was
blame
right
because they're
there.
right there. It's like, if you know at the Globes, like they're up above, and it's like,
Yeah.
Will Smith isn't going to jump up onto the stage.
No.
But at the Oscars, they usually do the rows. They've
Yeah,
never
the
really
big
done, apart from
rows.
last year with COVID, but I think they may have done it again this year due to COVID.
Yeah,
Some of them were just in
separate
rows,
tables, yeah.
but then the nominees at the front were in tables. So I found that interesting.
Yeah. Were there any other bits that you were really happy with, like
I thought
with the ceremony?
I thought the hosts were terrible, like Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
I just thought probably just don't go with the hosts anymore. You
Yeah,
don't,
you don't really
just-
need
I
them.
don't think you
like,
need that.
I don't know. I think you do. I think you just pick good people. Like Chris Rock a couple of years ago was great. I mean, the Golden Globes are just smashing it. Like they had Tina Fey and Amy Poehler and
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais. Like great. Like just have a laugh. Pretty lighthearted. You know, we don't need a tour of the Academy Museum. Like
no,
At
no,
all?
we do not.
I'm fine. Thanks.
I'll go there myself.
And we don't.
I want
we
to.
don't need 6 musical performances. We're
oh
not we're not the
my
Grammys.
God, yeah. Oh,
I reckon what they should do is I don't know somehow
Little act out scenes or something.
somehow do one musical performance and do it of the people that are going to win.
yeah.
So don't tell them they're going to win, but be like, okay, you're going to do a performance, and then just do that. You don't need 6 out the night; it just drags on.
And then-
dragged on,
I
absolutely.
thought while the Beyonce one was obviously tied to King Richard, I just thought it was completely not.
She wasn't performing there, was she?
No, that was in Compton on a tennis court.
So
It
you
was-
got Beyonce, and she's not even
Yeah.
performing at the event.
Yeah.
Was there
Weird.
one? Was there an opening bit a couple of years ago? Like, was it like Jimmy Kimmel or something? Or Corden, or where they do like a big musical thing that kind of touches on all the movies and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like a kind of
Hugh
comedy.
Jackman did that when he hosted in like 2009. He
Yeah.
did a musical number, and then where he like became all the main actors from all
See,
the best
just
picture
something that
nominees.
ties it all
Something like
together.
that. Yeah. Celebrating cinema. Not that musicals aren't cinema, but we don't need 6 of them, as you said.
No. So was it? So did they perform every best song nominee?
No, they
was that
did.
the thing?
No,
It was
well, some of
a few
them did, but
random ones.
they performed. So one of the songs from Encanto.
Yeah.
One of the songs was nominated, and they performed 2 of the songs because one of them is we
Was that
don't
with
talk
Megan
about.
Thee Stallion as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, they did. We don't talk about Bruno, which is like heaps viral right now.
Yeah.
So they just did that because it was a viral song, and they wanted
Literally.
to get more numbers.
trying to get the views.
Mm.
Nonetheless, some cracking films.
Great year for film, yeah.
Yeah, great year. 2021. Definitely some that we still need to see. Obviously impacted a lot by COVID, not being able to go to the cinemas with a lot of these, but nonetheless, some great performances as well. So let us know if we missed any big films or character performances that you thought. But otherwise, that is a wrap for this episode of Cinemates, a podcast where a bunch of mates chat about cinema over some drinks. Today we had some water. Huge thank you to Spencer and Tom for coming on the show. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Good to have you. And as always, please let us know what you want to hear about in future episodes. And if you ever want to send in a mailbag or do an elevator pitch to me, send us a DM on Instagram or TikTok at cinemaze_. Otherwise, we will catch you for the next episode. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Cinemates. If you enjoyed it, you can follow us and leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all other major platforms. Also, if you haven't already, check out our Instagram and YouTube channel for more Cinemaze content and let us know what you thought of this episode. In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge Australia's first people as the traditional owners and custodians of the land and pay respect to the Cammeraygal people of the Eora Nation upon whose country Cinemaze is based. We honour the storytelling and culture of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities across Australia. Also, in the spirit of chatting with mates, remember it's always important to check in with those around you, whether it's friends, family, or colleagues. Sometimes they may be going through a hard time, and chatting with them may reassure that they aren't alone. If you or anyone you know is ever struggling, call Lifeline on 13 11 14.